Well, welcome to Weather-weenies on what is a Monday, July the 20th. I'm Alan Holt, Ryan Breton, back from a little staycation.
A little long weekend.
Long weekend.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. You got some swings in.
I played on Saturday, and it went better than I anticipated. I'm not my old self, but it was okay. It was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Greens were nice.
They were fast.
You had some fast.
And we played in the morning, and usually it's a little dewy. It's not like the sun came out.
Yeah.
So I think that was a bigger surprise. I feel like when you've got like a kind of like a dewy green and the sun isn't baking it, like you expect it to be a little slower.
But it was quick for you.
Yeah, it could just be that we haven't had much rain this month either. So.
Yeah. July's been fairly dry.
Yeah, it
not
has
like
been.
June. Yeah, I'm seeing some of the grass starting to get a little crisp.
Yeah, if you're not watering and it's just sitting out there, I think so.
Yeah. But time was good other than the best part of it, the golfing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Good weekend. I mean, Sunday was amazing weather-wise.
Yesterday was great.
I almost said to myself, this feels like September, but I had to block that out of my head.
So my mother-in-law, native New Englander, Massachusetts, she was telling me, summer's over. Oh, here, summer.
Excuse me. I got a little ragweed, maybe. Who knows? The grass pollen.
This is the deal, I guess, when you're up here and you get that first little hint of cool. You're like, bring out the coats.
Yeah, don't like it. I don't like it when it's in mid-July. Although I liked it from the sense that I turned off the AC and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Take a look at the lows this morning. They were pretty impressive. We actually were down to 49 in Lewiston. So
it was nice. I mean,
40s.
really after the rain moved out, the nights have been really nice for open windows.
I will say it was kind of interesting because Saturday got muggy.
Yeah.
We had the smoke, we had clouds, we had showers, and then just to get up Sunday morning and have it be like a total 180 was pretty nice. Mm-hmm. Before we get into our weather, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the tropics because there is a depression in the Gulf just south of the Panhandle in Florida.
Yeah. I think it's forecast to reach tropical storm strength. It's 35 right now on the wind speed, so it's pretty close.
It'll be Bertha, but not Big Bertha.
No, not this one. The cone on this one's interesting to me because it's not like it's really wide at the end, which is telling me that the Hurricane Center doesn't have a huge amount of confidence after the mouth of the Mississippi, which it also is forecast to weaken significantly by the time it gets to southeastern Louisiana.
The cone is always the same size, right? Or have they changed that?
They can change it based on confidence.
Okay, so is that new this year?
It's been a few. The one that really sticks out to my head is Laura.
Okay.
In 2000, that storm was in the Caribbean, and the cone on it was super narrow all the way into Louisiana.
Huh. Okay.
It was it was.
So they're not doing it by average error anymore.
I think they start it there, but they can adjust.
Okay, I didn't know that. I've heard some of that, but it's not something we have to deal with that much here. So
one of them that sticks out in my head that I was Beta. Was the storm
in 2020?
2020 again.
Yep.
And basically they just put a circle around where they thought it was going to develop. And that was the cone.
Would have been before they could change the...
But it was just a circle.
Well, it's because it wasn't moving.
It wasn't moving.
Yeah.
They didn't know which way. Because if they knew the direction, then they would have had a smaller cone and then given you that.
So I interpreted it differently in that it wasn't moving, so the big blob represented the farther out in time shape.
I interpreted it as we don't know what way it's because it was on a stalled front.
Yeah.
And it could have gone east or west. It ended up going west, but the cone would signal they're expecting the center of this thing to be inside this cone at however many hours. Right?
Just the point hadn't moved.
It didn't move.
At that time.
So and yes, that storm was not moving.
I guess I can play this back so you can kind of see the point. Obviously, the cone's small at the beginning, but then as you go out in time, it naturally gets bigger.
And that's a really wide cone at the end. That's pretty big.
I'm going to have to read up on that. I didn't realize that they're doing that frequently. But like I said, it's not something I do a ton of studying up on until I need to.
Yeah, this kind of stuff was I'd never liked tropical stuff when it was just so quick to develop, so close to land. So the impacts are you're not watching it cross the Atlantic.
Right. Yeah. And if you got friends like down in
New Orleans,
City Beach or Destin or New Orleans, they'll get some windy rain, but it's not going to be anything more than that.
It doesn't look like, tropical storm barely, and then it just kind of, I think it's just too close to land.
Yeah.
It's not going to have like full pull on the Gulf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back here, beautiful day today. We have this frontal system to our west, and it will get a little muggier with Wednesday being the most humid day. But just wanted to point out the smoke. There is some up there, but the smoke model suggests some thinning as it comes east. So we're probably not looking at something like we saw like Tuesday, Wednesday last week.
Yeah, a hint of haze.
Yeah.
So, like there might be like something where you're like, it looks a little hazy, but it's not going to be like when you were playing golf Saturday morning.
Yeah. And actually, you could see it come in then.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of interesting.
Now I'm second guessing myself on the cone size because I do know that they like have the circles of a certain radius.
Right.
But I want to say that it can vary.
I knew they were going in that direction.
Okay. I'm going to have to look now.
I just know a few years ago, at least, they were still doing it by average error. And I know they wanted to go in that direction. I'm just not sure.
No,
how
I'm
far
not sure either.
Well, so both of us are going to find out because we're going to look up the answer later.
Yeah.
But anyway, tonight's comfortable. And then for tomorrow, we've got a decent day. It's not going to be as warm because there are going to be these clouds that start coming in. But most places are probably dry through much of the day, except in New Hampshire and Western Maine.
Yeah. And that's the system that's coming in, and it looks to be most active like overnight.
Right. Yeah. They're probably like if you have evening plans, you're going to have to be aware that there could be some downpours and storms that come through during the evening and then kind of continue overnight. And some of those could have some lightning and a little gusty winds with them even during the night. And it will be a lot more uncomfortable, too, as this swings through. And we're probably not going to drop much below the mid-60s Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
So this is interesting, too, because these storms, contrary to the ones that we had last week, and the last several weeks have been coming in from the west or northwest along these fronts. It looks like these are going to be out ahead of it, coming in from the southwest. So do these tend to produce, like, pretty gusty winds as frequently as stuff coming in from the west?
No, not really. Okay. We just have a gradient wind that'll be gusty to begin with on Tuesday. So like probably by evening there may be some gusts of like 25 miles per hour separate from any rain, but I don't think so. Maybe there's like an isolated severe storm in that line, but it's not traditional in the sense that you're pointing out. We get most of our wind damage from the other type.
From coming in from the west.
Right.
It just seems like...
And we may have that on Wednesday. So if this goes by, we may be kind of cloudy first thing. But if we break sun out, there could be some low to mid 80s, especially away from the coast on Wednesday. Not quite sure how warm it'll get. And then this kind of upper trough swings through that could trigger a few more storms Wednesday afternoon. And if we get the instability, those will probably have a better chance of being a little gusty.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then after that, we're in good shape for Thursday, Friday, and probably the weekend, too.
We're like in a nice slot for the weekend where it might be that come Monday we get something, but Saturday, Sunday look pretty good right now. And
really Wednesday is just Tuesday night, Wednesday is really just the one humid period this week. It doesn't look like anything really humid comes back through the weekend. So that's
which is nice. I mean, today was really nice.
Yeah. Well, and this is about our warmest time of the year, too.
I have a map or an almanac thingy.
I don't know.
I think it's through early August. The high's like 80 average.
Yeah, I think it ends a little before August.
Oh, really?
I remember. It's maybe like the 29th. Average water temperature. This is it.
That's one of them.
Oh, that's Bangor. Okay, so I didn't realize it was that long a period.
Yeah.
This is an old one. But July 24th, I guess, was our average hottest day. This is another one. Here we go. I don't think it stays 80. Maybe it gets above 80.
The average is... We'll have to look it up again.
Yeah.
But on XMASIS, the average high is like 80 for a month.
I don't think it's that long, but
no,
I love to think it. Well, maybe above 80. It may peak at like 81 or something. That's what I was thinking of. I know usually it's these last 2 weeks in July that are usually the hottest. So we'll have to look it up. But yeah, it's the same idea.
Yeah,
so
we're close to it.
Good stuff. All right, well, if you got any questions, feel free to send them our way.
Did we hit 10 minutes?
We hit 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure.
We're already done?
I think we're pretty close.
Okay,
I think we're pretty close.
News Center. What is it? weather-weenies at newscentermaine.com. Is it .com?
It's .com, not .net or not .me.
I don't know why I'm having a brain.
It's right there. You got it.
Okay, yeah. Just look at the screen. Send us something. We'll see you next time.
Right.